Assalamu alaikum. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm Lil Charlie, and I'm giving y'all another video for Conversation with Lil Charlie. I appreciate all the subscribers. You know, it's kind of hard to do this from where I'm at, but I definitely appreciate everybody that's tuned in, and I look at it as support. So thank you to everybody.
All right, so now we're going to get into the interview regarding Charlie's first book, Raised by the M, the Charlie Davis story. So my first question is, tell me why you felt it was important to write this book and what inspired you.
Well, my old heads really inspired me. You know, coming up under them dudes, it's like, it was different back then. You know, they was like real men. And I compare them to a lot of people I see now. And I just realized what I had growing up with them. You know, and I thought it was important for me to write this book so a lot of people can just actually get the story. You know, like people have a habit of creating a narration and then giving it to the people as if they actually know me. So with that said, I ain't allowing nobody to get that off on me. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and then hopefully y'all like it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that response. Who would you say the audience is you are looking to attract?
Well, I want to attract as many people as I possibly can. However, I'm more concerned with people like me, you know, that ran the streets, lived a certain kind of lifestyle, and continuing to live that lifestyle. I want people to like really realize that it's a whole nother side to that street shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come in this joint and walk the track with niggas with 30, 40 years in, still talking about a pill in their case. You know what I'm saying? Nigga come in this joint, young man, gray hair all over the place now. You know, so I think that if a person reads this book, they could actually possibly learn something. Possibly. You know what I'm saying? So, and I hope I wrote it in a way that some people can appreciate it.
Okay. And they I feel like you answered the next question, was what was the message you're trying to get out? I felt like that answer was already incorporated in the second one.
Okay.
Tell me your vision for the book. Where do you see it going?
Wow. I can't really say where I see it going, but I know where I want it to go. I wanted to actually just, again, reach some people that actually need to know my story. You know, I feel like I come from an era of, a nice era. I feel like I come from an era of men, you know, that taught you how to fight before you picked up a gun. You know, I come from an era of men that teach you character before all else. So with that said, I believe that should answer your question.
You're absolutely right. Where would you say your position is now with the mob?
I still talk to some of my old heads. You know, a lot of them is not in the streets no more. And the ones that are still in prison, again, spent 30 years and they still fighting for their life. You know, so when I'm able to reach out to some people that's in contact with other people, then we kind of get together, send messages back and forth. And you know, overall, a lot of people changed. You know, they still men, they still got their character. You know, my character's still intact. But at the end of the day, like, that era has come and gone. But the principalities that I've gotten from that era, I'm still using them to the day.
Right. So how was it as a young kid? How was it that a young kid got to be around so many powerful men of that era?
Well, a lot of the Junior Black Mafia come from my neighborhood. You know, at least I'm gonna say 75% of them. in the beginning, they come right from my neighborhood. They from my block. You know, I grew up under them dudes. I was in the gym with them. You know, before them letters, I was around. So that's how I got to be around them. I actually knew them before that came into play. You know, these are the dudes that taught me how to fight. These are the dudes that taught me how to dress. These are the dudes that taught me how to hustle. You know, these are the guys that really were inspirational to me as my image of what I thought a man should be. You know, they were young too at the time, you know, but at the end of the day, they were like real live men. And I still respect them to the day for that.
So one thing I want to say is that I read the book, and it was really a great read. But do you believe that your life would have been different if you weren't raised by the M?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I think it would have been different. My foundation is what it is. I was going to be a man regardless. But them dudes, they just brought a lot out of me that a lot of other dudes I don't think would have brought out of me. Not even my uncles. You know, my uncles come from like the Woodland Avenue gang war era and all of that. You know, I don't even think they would have brought out of me what my old timers brought out of me. So yeah, it definitely would have been totally different without them.
And in the book you talked about the Jamaicans. Like you had got incarcerated, went through some things, and then you went back to Jersey and you was banging with the Jamaicans. Do you feel like they played a part in your upbringing?
Yeah. That was a hell of a time. You know, the Jamaicans was going through it with my old heads. But it was two Jamaicans, P and Rain, that kind of raised me. They kind of had a hell of a hand in my upbringing. Them dudes, man, especially Rain, they was some live motherfucking Jamaicans, you know. And ironically, like I got more money with them than I did with the old heads. You know, like all my cars and all that I had as a kid, all that shit came from them Jamaicans. You know, so my story don't exist without them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I had to keep the two separated because them Jamaicans ain't stand a chance when it came to them, when it came to the old heads. You know?
Okay.
So
do you feel like the government will ever let your old heads go?
I'm hoping they don't die in prison because they don't deserve it. I think that the government got them down as like bloodthirsty marauders. You know, all they wanted to do was kill and sell drugs. That's the farthest thing from the truth. Them dudes was family men. Them dudes was SEPTA drivers. They was boxers, like went to the Olympics. You know, them dudes had real live jobs. You know, some of them boys was in the army. Some of them boys was literally in the military. So these weren't like your regular hang on the corner, get high, pick up a gun, kill everybody type dudes. These boys is like some real legitimate men. They worked in juvenile facilities and all of that. You know, it's just that the streets had a different kind of allure for them. But them dudes, they wasn't those kind of guys that was just your run of the mill street dudes. So I hope to God that the government sees fit to let at least 90% of them, 98% of them go. Mm-hmm. I hope to God.
I hope so too. So tell me, what part of the book did you have the hardest time writing?
I think all of it, because if I wasn't under these circumstances, I don't think I'd ever wrote no book. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just the way I was looking at things. You know, what a person know, they know. What they don't, they don't. And I would have left it at that. The hardest part was just like, I'm trying to write. I attempted to write the book without talking too much, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I know people got appeals, and I know people don't want to be for lack of better words, I know people don't want to be a part of that no more. They don't want their image that they've created now to be linked to that which was back then. So it was kind of hard for me to write around knowing all of that. It was kind of hard for me to write around all that nonsense. So it kind of made the book a little bit harder to write, but I think I accomplished my goal.
I think you did as well. So
Okay.
tell me one thing that you learned while writing this book.
I learned that I'm a lot smarter than I actually thought I was. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did learn.
Okay. And why do you feel this book is a must read?
I'm gonna become the questionnaire. Why do you think the book is a must read? You read it?
So I think the book is a must read because it's not only entertaining, it's a bit educational. It actually teaches some how to navigate the court system and not be a rat, in my eyes.
Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt.
I honestly thought that it was a definitely good book. I couldn't put it down.
Okay.
Read it in a day. So
Thank you.
my advice would be just get the book. Raised by the
appreciate
Philadelphia
that.
M. Charlie Davis story.
I appreciate that, and thank you. Thank you to anybody that was anybody that support me. If you want to support me, please know I'm not a rat. I'm not in this joint, participating in unbecoming activities of men. I don't kill my friends. I haven't robbed my friends. I ain't did no clown shit in this joint. So please understand, if you want to support me, you support the man. Thank you. Y'all enjoy our day.